Began dating a very cute, super fun, amazing, so I thought, girl. I'm 29, she is 24. She was so easy to get along with. We had fun, took awesome road trips. We moved in together, got engaged, got married. Everything is awesome for about 3 years. Then, one day, she begins to act really weird and paranoid. Now, a little backstory. One of the things she told me was that she had no contact with her parents because her father abused her. I mean, who would lie about that? She is totally not acting like herself. And finally, I ask her what the fuck is going on. She demands to see my email. This was before text messages, because she knows I have been conspiring against her with my friends. I am really confused. So I hand her my laptop and am like, babe, I have no secrets. You can read all the emails you want. The next day I come home from work and I find her moments from death. She is not breathing. I call 911. They come and bag her, get her on life support, the whole nine. The doctors tell me that it's likely she won't survive the night. She OD'd on fentanyl and alcohol, also widely out of character for her. Amazingly, she doesn't die, and 3 days later comes out of her coma only to tell the doctors that I have been keeping her locked up in the basement. We have no basement. And sexually abusing her. It gets really messy. I find her parents' contact info through friends of hers that knew her brother. I call them and they come to my state. Turns out they had hired a private detective to find her and find out what was up in her life, etc. Because she disappeared from them after college. There was no abuse. In fact, her parents told me about her diagnosis of borderline personality disorder, and she had episodes like this in high school and college where she insisted her boyfriend was abusing her. Anyway, I immediately file for divorce. She had lied to me about her entire life. She dragged me through a year-long divorce, constantly lying to judges, etc. She would get lawyers to take her case because she convinced them I was an abuser. Only after they found out the truth and that we had no money, they would drop her. Then she would get another one, so it took forever. Worst part was, she stole my dog and I never got her back.
I broke up with this girl on a Monday, but me being me, I tried to stay friends with her. When I broke up with her, she kept saying I needed to give her 6 more weeks for closure, and that I was her last chance at dating. She is 28. On Friday, she shows up and says, "Hello, I'm going to let you go, but I want you to know I am pregnant." The next day, she calls me, saying she is going to the ER. Later that day, I get a phone call. She says that it's a tubular pregnancy, and she needs to take the abortion pill. Note, usually this requires surgery. She asked me if I would come over that night, because she would need moral support. I felt obligated to go. When I was there, I told her I was going to leave when she went to bed. She started to cry and said she was afraid she might hurt herself, so I needed to stay there. That freaked me out a bit, so I did. At night then, she took my hand, put it on her belly and said, "Say goodbye." So, next day I woke up and got the hell out. Figure it was all over. That Monday I get a phone call. She says I am still pregnant. Apparently, according to her, she had had twins, and the one had survived. I told her I wanted to go with her to her next doctor's appointment. She said fine. On Tuesday, she messages me, tells me they had an opening, so she went early. Asked if I wanted a picture, I said sure. She sent me one, and I looked at it. No information on it, so I asked her, and she said they emailed it to her. Made sense, they removed all identifiable information. 2 days later, a friend with better Google Foo than me took that picture and found it online under someone else's name. You could even see where parts of the image had elements removed. I confronted her about it. She said she couldn't believe I would believe her, and my child would never know who I am. The next day, she sent me an email saying her lawyer would be in touch. The next day, then she sent me an email saying she was going to have the abortion, but I needed to pick her up and pay for it. 5 minutes later, she sent me an email saying that if I didn't respond, she would just keep the child. I responded back saying that I had found the image, showed her the link, and said her story has about 1 in 500,000 chance of being real, even without the fake image. I said if she continued to harass me, I would get a protection from harassment. 2 weeks went by. I hear nothing. Then, I get a call at 6 p.m. from her home number. The girl, that sounds very much like her, says that she is her cousin, going to be her lawyer, and I need to call back. Only problem, that callback number was her home phone number, so obviously this is fake as well. She continued harassing me over the weeks, still asking me to get back together, screaming outside my house and forcing her way into my room. After that, I filed for a restraining order, and I found out months later from her own sister that she wasn't pregnant at all.
My ex and I dated in high school to my freshman year of college. It was more like a friendship to me. We never kissed or did anything physical other than holding hands, and we just hanged out a lot. He was always deeply in love with me, but it was more like an obsession that I didn't reciprocate. One day when he fell asleep while we were watching a movie on his laptop, I had a strange gut feeling to look around on it. On his desktop, there was a folder with my initials on it. I opened it, and there were 400 pictures and videos of me. They were all taken unbeknownst to me. They were all mostly of my legs, crotch area, but with clothes on. The pictures were taken everywhere. Public places like at restaurants, under the table, in the car, at school, at our houses, etc. All while I had no clue. Like I mentioned earlier, we never did anything physical. We were both virgins. It hit me he always had his iPod Touch on him, and it always seemed like he was on it playing games and other stuff. That's how he must have taken these pictures. At the bottom of the folder, there were new videos that were recent at the time. I play them, and somehow the footage came from inside my dorm closet. I always went in there to change right after I took a shower, and he knew my routine. I go into my dorm closet and find the hole where he would put the camera, iPod. It was 4 a.m. when I found all of this, and I guess it hadn't hit me yet because I was so tired and just knocked out. Then I woke up realizing what I had found and how serious it was. I called my best friend. She came over to my dorm, and I showed her. Both of us cried on my bed for a while. I had never felt so violated in my life. Later that day, a small group of my closest friends helped me confront him. I told him I found what was on his laptop. He looked at me like a deer in the headlights. He started crying, saying, I tried to stop, but I couldn't help myself. He then ran out the door and sat on a bench outside my dorm, crying with his head down for hours. After that, he stalked me. At my job, he would be outside when I got out at 10 p.m. and watch me from his car. I had a new boyfriend by then, and he would be with me to protect me from my ex. He also tried kill said new boyfriend with a bat when we all went to the same house party. My friends locked me and my new boyfriend in a room so my ex couldn't get to us. I could hear him trying to break into the room and swinging the bat and breaking stuff in the house, while others were holding him back. Then he disappeared at the party, and everyone went to look for him. They found him outside on a porch, in the fetal position, rocking back and forth and crying. A year later, even after losing his virginity to someone else, and me being with my new boyfriend for a while, he told some mutual friends that he didn't care about any girl and that he just loved me forever. To this day, everyone I'm close to knows that if I were murdered, they'd know who the prime suspect would be.
I hope you found these stories as chilling and unsettling as I did. It's a stark reminder that sometimes reality can be stranger and more frightening than fiction. If you enjoyed these tales of suspense, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more spine-chilling content. This is your host, Nicholas Black. Until next time.